right, good morning. Welcome back to Faro Farms. I think first thing first, we got the old clean grain elevator sprocket, top sprocket ripped off the other day. Here's the new. We're gonna hop up there and get that put on. And as you can tell, this shaft is not really in that bad a shape, but where the keyway goes, there's kind of it's been wallered. So, in same way with the sprocket keyway there, it's got some grooves knocked out in it. So we'll hop up there and get that going. Buck is actually working on the front of the combine at the reverser. We change that oil every year. That is a special synthetic oil, and that's kind of Buck's specialty. So he enjoys that. And he gets to sit down. Yeah, he likes those jobs. So all right, let's get after it.
We are getting ready to work on one of the combines, put a shaft in, and I don't know why every company does it, but they put stickers on shafts and stuff that has to be slick, and trying to get it cleaned off. It can be aggravating, but I guess they need to know what part it is. Be nice if they had stickers that just peeled off instead of having to scrape off. So, but anyway, we're getting ready to work on that. We've got a bar to put in the back on the back feeder beater. I see it's got a nasty sticker to take off too. We had one of these break, but we didn't throw that piece away. On the other combine, the back of on the chopper, it just went blank on me.
All right, we got Buck shimmied back in here. So what we're doing, as he explained, was we had this strap and it will attach there, and those teeth attach to it. So, you know, it's hard to tell. We may have taken a rock or something, but anyway, it cracked that, split it in two, so we pulled the old one off and put it to a different use. So
yeah, I explained that a while ago. We fixed the other chopper on the other combine. The plate on the bottom was busted out. You got the camera on? Yeah. Better watch what I say then, Hannah. I'm not quite as limber as Travis getting this done, but we manage. I am glad this job is done. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to get out of here. Well, as you can see, I did get out and it's done. One job down and several to go.
Alright guys, here is the grain tank. This is where all the product is held. But here's what we're working on. We are at the clean grain elevator here. So when product enters the front of the machine, the combine does all its threshing. There is a horizontal auger at the very bottom at the belly of the combine. It is augered over to the clean grain elevator. So here's the chain, and the way this works is these are paddles, and so as this turns, it'll carry the product up, and then it flips it over, and then it is carried up by the fountain auger, which dumps it into the tank. So what we are doing, the sprocket we took off had a lot of wear. It actually had some pretty good hooks in it with that direction it was turning. So we ripped it out, and we've got the new shaft, bearings, sprocket, lock collars, keyways. We will get that put on. I will show you one thing you want to make sure putting a bearing on is that you get it on the right way. because this is a lock collar. This is what actually locks the shaft to the bearing. And you can see that's kind of, I don't know if you can, probably can't tell. It's kind of got a groove around one side. So what you do when that shaft is through there, you got a hole here, you take a punch and you turn that, and that will, it's kind of offset so it locks that shaft onto the bearing. Then you got a set screw you tighten up, and that'll make it one. But you get it on the other way, this side isn't that way, so that lock collar will not work. Been there, done that. Alright, so we got that back on. Brand new sprocket. Looks a lot better than the old one. You just want to double check, go through, make sure your locks, you got those tight, set screws, you know. Also, these have little sleeves on it, on each side, and that keeps that sprocket centered. Now there is a little play in it, but that's okay. We got our pulley back on, keyway in there. We know we got our keyway in here, but I think we're good to go. Now we will we'll get our chain lifted back up, our master put back in, 2 new little hooks that lock that master on, and I think we can put the shield back on and we'll be done up here. Okay, we're all back together. Everything looks good. Like I said, I did have to add the half link back in, but I think that was just from the tolerance between the old worn sprocket and the new. But yeah, everything feels good. So at this point, I think we'll kind of clean up, make sure we didn't drop any tools under the trough, get our shield back on, and should be done up here. So what I've done here, this is the adjustment for the feeder house chain. It was loose, but it had so much dirt built up on the threads that I could not tighten that nut anymore. So I took it off. But what has happened now, it's going to be hard to see in there, but when I took this bolt out, inside it dropped down a little bit. So it is not lined up. And I'm off probably a half a hole. So, kind of show you what I rigged up here. Okay. I do this. This here is what I need to raise up. So it's going to be easier without 2 people here. So what I did, wrapped a piece of baling wire right here around it up to this pry bar. So now what I can do is I can raise that up with one hand there while I reach down here and get it in. Okay, so I'm on the opposite side of the combine as Buck. This is the tailings end of the shaft that has a sensor on it that, as that's spinning, when it quits spinning, it will let me know in the cab that, something's going wrong. Anyway, Buck is on the other side. He is taking off the bearing so we can get to the sprocket. But I think what we're going to do, we have a flighting over there from last year that we had bought. Cannot remember for the life of me why we bought that, but we did have an issue with this auger, bearing, sprocket, something. So I think the best thing is, we know we got to take it off over there. So we're just gonna pull this all out. The auger has to come out from this side. There's kind of a slit in here that, as we get the flighting to this slit, we will just kind of screw that flighting out. And yeah, at that point, we'll replace all the bearings and just kind of look over everything. And since we have the new auger, I think we will just go ahead and put it in. We're going to have this one out anyway. New bearings. We have the sprocket, so peace of mind. We know we'll be brand new going in, but it's close to 5 o'clock. We generally do not get the torch out when it's an hour before quitting, just for the fact of heating things up. We don't want to do it right before we leave. Something smolder, it could be disastrous. So yeah, I think we'll get back at it in the morning and we'll get this ripped off. We are in pretty good shape on the other combine. There's a few more things to do. Rick is actually getting some parts in the morning for it, and because we're kind of at a standstill there. But yeah, we just jumped on this because this one, it's gonna have quite a bit more. So yeah, gotta get it. All right, that's gonna do it for today. We will be back at it in the morning, and we got quite a bit done on this 16 here. We got started on the 13, and just want to say thanks for everybody watching. Appreciate it. If you would, subscribe and like. See ya. God bless.